Okay, so this is, I think, my first time of live streaming on YouTube with a brand new piece of software that I'm using by the amazing creators over at Ecamm. Let me just bring up some overlays a minute, and then we can get everything sorted from there. There we go. That's what we need. That's everything there. Alright, so basically the reason I'm recording this video today is because I was asked the question by a personal friend only a couple of days or so ago. What is the easiest and the quickest way to attract Reiki clients on Facebook? Now, I think what I want to do is I want to do things a slightly different way. What I want to do is I've just been over on Periscope using this piece of software, and it went really well, but I would, I guess, like to just do things slightly differently. Now, on Facebook, I know by my own research that the people that are interested in Reiki and booking Reiki sessions, they tend to click on graphics, images, more than anything else. And so what I want to do is I want to create a graphic that pops on the Facebook newsfeed. It stands out, but it doesn't look so different. It doesn't look like an advert. It's just a graphic that has been optimized. It looks great. It has a story behind it, and then there's an offer at the end. Alright, so basically the first step is what I do. Let me just share my screen with you a second. The first thing that I do is I go over to Pixabay, which is a free image collection. If you haven't got an account, sign up. It's completely free. It's totally lovely. Alright, and then all I do is I type in a keyword looking for an image that will suit what I'm trying to do. Alright, so I am going to type in the word Reiki and then hit enter. Alright, now what I think I want to do is I want to find an image that works really, really well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this image here and then click free download. By signing up to the account, you don't have to go through all the capture stuff. Alright, and you can download this image for free. Use it for anything that you want it to. But on Facebook, what you really need is an image of 1280 by 853 or there or thereabouts. Click download. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is I am then just going to show that in the Finder. Alright, and I can see that it's there in the download section. Let me just bring myself back on screen a minute. Alright, and what I'm going to do then, now that I've got the picture, is I'm now going to go over to the second website I use, which is Pixlr Editor. Now, Pixlr Editor is just an amazing graphic editor. Alright, and I'm just going to show you how I use it to optimize the photos. Alright, all I do is I go over and I click create a new image. I make the picture sizes 1280 by 720, so it's 720p HD, and then I make it transparent and then click OK. Alright, so now what you've got is you've got a transparent image. What I'm then going to do is I'm going to open the image, so click layer, open image as layer, find the picture that I want, okay, click open, and there my picture's been brought into Pixlr Editor and it looks absolutely lovely. Right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to optimize this image, so I'm going to hit edit and then free transform, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the double pointed arrow that you see, and then when I left click and drag I can bring it out a little bit, and then I want to bring this image over so it's not bang center straight in the middle of the screen. I want it to look like a lower third picture. That looks really good to me. I click outside of the free transform box and it will say, do you want to apply the changes? I say yes. Right, so that's the first step. The first step is that I've now brought that image in. You can see there that I need to make a small adjustment because I've left a little bit just down the side there. So let me just free transform that a little bit more. And there you go, that's perfect. Click off, click yes, that's what I want to save. Alright, and then it's adjustment, levels, raise the contrast by 20, heighten the brightness by 10, and click OK. Click adjustment, hue and saturation, raise the saturation by 20, and then if you want to change the color tint of the photo, all you've got to do is use the hue button to be able to do that. Alright, personally I'm going to take it back to default because I think that looks really nice. Okay, and then it's just file, save, name it what you like. I'm going to call it Reiki 2 and leave it in JPEG format, and then quality is 80%. You can see it's a very small photo. Click OK and then save that on your desktop and you're away. Right, so that's the first thing. We've been to Pixabay, we've found an image, we've brought it into Pixel Editor, and that's it. One of the things I want to show you is how this has worked so very well for my partner Lana. Lana is a colour coach based in Bridgend. Alright, and what we tend to do is we tend to go to a few Mind Body Spirit fairs, shows, or use what we call the fairground model to help people with colour coaching, and Lana's phenomenal at it. Alright, so what she did was she put up a story post, and you can see at the bottom of that post, you can see that it says we have 3,678 people reached with this offer. Now, we never spend more than £5 on a boosted post because, you know, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is we're trying to help people. All right, and it was a test for us, but over the last couple of weeks we've worked with this strategy and it's worked really, really nicely for us. All right, so let me just read this out to you. You've got eclipse season. Now is the time to release anything that's no longer serving you. We're in partial eclipse territory today, and it's important to get started on your transformation before the lunar eclipse on the 27th of July and back in full flow by the solar eclipse on the 11th of August. This is a very powerful and intense time of feeling the emotions around chaos and deep-seated fear. So if you're feeling fearful, it's actually a good sign because it means you're bringing something from the dark to the light. So let it surface in order to be released. Don't hold it in. It needs to come out to support your clearing. Get grounded, use your spiritual tools and look after yourself. If you have stuck energy that needs a nudge, then book in for a colour reading and let's get you back into transformational flow. £20 for 20 minutes, £30 for 30 minutes, £50 for 60 minutes. PM me for further details. Comment in the box below with eclipse and get 10% off your reading. And this has worked really well for us. It's worked really well for Lana. And what she's done is she's created a story. So she knows that we're in eclipse season. She knows that people are in transformation. She knows how people are feeling. And she's created a story so that people can resonate with where she's at and what she's saying. Alright, she tells them why getting back into transformational flow is the best thing to do. And she gives some initial tips on how somebody can do that for themselves very, very quickly. What she then says is if you've practiced that and you still find that you need a nudge, then book me in for a colour coaching session and let's get you back into transformational flow. And then she makes an offer, £20 for 20 minutes, £30 for 30 minutes, £50 for 60 minutes. And we've been working just at a rate of about £1 a minute. She then puts the responsibility on the people that see this post and asks them to PM her for further details, and then to leave a comment so that she knows that this is the post that they've seen, and as long as they use the word that she's given, which in this case was eclipse, she then gets 10%, or the client gets 10% off the reading. Right, and as I say, you see 3,678 people reached, all right, for about a fiver. All right, and you know, at the end of the day, the return on investment on that was huge. All right, so it just means that Lana is able to spend her time, instead of traveling to different mind, body, spirit affairs, which she loves to do, she loves to network with other practitioners. But what it does mean is that she's able to help more people from either the she shed, which is outside our home, or inside our home, which is really, really good. Right, so the next step, once you've created your story, once you've told people and helped people understand why they're struggling in certain areas, and you've given them some initial tips to help them out, the next step is to make them an offer. And then if you want to reach more people, then what you're going to do is you are going to create a £5 Facebook ad. And the hardest part of Facebook advertising is making sure that you're talking to the right audience. So I'm going to show you, and this what I'm about to show you comes from the most amazing man, Miles Beckler. And Miles has an incredible channel on YouTube where he helps all sorts of people understand all sorts of different things around marketing themselves on the internet. So I learned this from him. I can't take any credit for it, all right, but it's an incredible strategy, and I just want to show you how this works. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click over to Facebook Ads Manager. Okay, and there you can see some of our results. All right, so what we've seen is 5,906 people reached at a cost of 85 pence per thousand. We can see here we've had 136 post engagements. We've reached 2,480 at a cost of 7 pence per engagement. And so what happens is that Lana then gets a message, and then she continues the conversation on Facebook Messenger, and that may or may not turn into a booking for a client. But 1,000 people for 85p is incredible. All right, now what I do want to do is I want to take you over to Ads Manager, so that you're in front of Ads Manager now, but you can see 3 lines just to the side. Click on that, and then what I want you to do is I want you to go to Audience Insights. All right, just waiting for that page to come up. And when that page comes up, you can see that you have a choice as to which audience do you want to use. Now, we used the people connected to Lana's page and her and their friends. However, I want to show you the way to reach people under the radar, if you like, by using Audience Insights and using everyone on Facebook. All right, so we're going to click on everyone on Facebook, and what we're going to do is, for the first thing, we're just going to type in our subject. So it might be mediumship, it might be angel card readings, it might be whatever. In this example, we're using Reiki, so we click on Reiki, and there we can see that of the people that are interested in Reiki in the United States, 86% of them are women. So that would make sense for us to target women. All right, what we also see is that those women are between the ages of 35 and 54. We see that from a marital status perspective, they are primarily married, and that from an education level, they are university postgraduates. And when we scroll down, we can see that the highest result according to this, 27% of people interested in Reiki that are ultimately looking for Reiki related stuff, they come from all of these different job titles. All right, so first things first, let's take women between the ages of 35 and 54. There you go, 35 and 54. And it still stands up really nicely. All right, so it's still 35 to 54, married, university postgraduate. But the job titles has changed now that we're looking at women, and most of those women, 56% of those women now appear within administrative services or management. Okay. When we go over to page likes, there isn't enough information based on page likes. Location, it will give us all the locations we need. Now we're based in Bridgend in South Wales, so this location information isn't relevant for us. We can see in America 600 to 700,000 monthly active people interested in Reiki. When we have a look at activity, it gives us all sorts of other information, and it certainly says, if you look at the green numbers, that people that are interested in Reiki tend to look at Facebook on their mobile phones. It does say that ads clicked are really popular within that audience. Now the first thing I want to do is I'm going to take out this audience here, and I'm just going to put in Wales. It's where we live. All right, and I just want to see now how the demographics hold up. All right, so well, we've got 87% of women. Most women are between 45 and 54. I think that's quite close, so you could target both of those. They're still married, they're still university postgraduates. All right, and what you see here is that when it comes to Reiki, that the women are mostly involved in personal care and at-home services. All right, so when we go to page likes, there's no information there, but we can see here you could put in the list of towns in your locations if you wanted to do that. Most importantly, we need to see what their activity is on Facebook, and we can see now that posts are liked more than anything else, which is the reason why I've chosen to go for an image graphic with a story rather than anything else. They won't be into Facebook Lives, they won't be interested in videos of any sort. Posts liked are image graphics that stand out, that are optimized incredibly well, with a story connected and with the ability to interact. All right, so that's why I chose to create an image graphic, and you can see here that iPhones and Androids are still, mobile phones are the way that Reiki, people interested in Reiki are going to look at that information. Now, what I want to do is, now let me just bring myself back on screen. Now what I want to do is I want to create the ad. All right, so what we're going to do is we are now going to go to create ad, and we are going to use the ads manager. Just wait for that to load. Any minute now. Broadband's slow in Wales today. Now this looks as though it's taking me into advert creation. I'm hoping that this is going to make it nice and easy for me. Okay, so I want to cancel this. Cancel that. Let's create an ad. Just wait for it to come up. Okay, and so what we want now is we want to have a look at reach. All right, so what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at awareness, we'll call it reach, and then you can choose your Facebook page, and this looks like it's taking me into, there we go. So if we were to choose, let's imagine that we were to choose, let's say we were to choose Lana's page, just for example. All right, then what we would do is we would fill out all the demographic information that we have. So the first thing that we've got is we know that we're aiming to reach people in Wales. Okay, we know that they're between the ages of 35 and 54. We know that they're women. We know that they speak English, UK. If I could spell that all right, that would be fine. There you go, English, UK. And then what I want to do is I want to create this box here. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in married, relationship status, and then university, postgraduate. Let me just have a look here. Education, university graduate. I'm going to click off that. We're now going to narrow the audience because they must like Reiki. And click on Reiki. You can see here that at this moment in time we are aiming to reach 1,400 people to 3,000 people. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to edit the placements. Facebook wants to put the advert in front of as many people as it can, even if it's not on Facebook newsfeed. We want to concentrate on Facebook newsfeed. So the first thing we're going to do, if you remember, people who are interested in Reiki tend to have a look on mobile. So that's where we're going. That now takes it to 1,400 to 3,100. And we're now going to take off everything that doesn't appear in the Facebook newsfeed. Right? So this now takes us down to 1,300 to 2,800. Only connect over Wi-Fi, courtesy, just in case the audience doesn't have mobile data. A lifetime budget of £5. And then what we'll do is we'll start the advert tomorrow. Lifetime budget. And then let me just see if I can get this in here. And that's going to finish on the 2nd. This is going to start on the 1st. Okay, and then the lifetime budget is £5. Okay, spend £5 in total. Optimization for ad delivery, that's down to Facebook. Set a big cap. It says £2,000 for I'm sorry, £2,000, £2 for 1,000 impressions. I would suggest taking that down to £1, and then literally there is your targeting done. And then all you've got to do is then upload your photo with your story and you're away. Once that happens, let me just bring you back on screen. What happens then is that when the conversation takes place and you're now getting conversations in Messenger, I would suggest the easiest way of communicating with the people that are interested in booking a session with you is to go over to a website called paypal.me. Alright, so basically all you do is that big blue button in the center of the screen. All you do is create a link. If I show you how to do that, all we're going to do is if I put in there, let's put in there, let's say Reiki Man. that one's taken. No, it's not. All you would do is grab this link, and then it would ask you to log into PayPal to assign that link. Alright, so that's it from there. Alright, so then you would just send that link to your customer, and then your customer then would be able to pay for the session, and the payment will hit your bank account almost immediately. Alright, once you've done that, out of the abundance that you've received, all you're going to do is reinvest 20% of the money that you've made on your sessions, reinvest that back in the same way into Facebook advertising. And now what you're doing is you're no longer having to rely on mind, body, spirit fairs or shows or the fairground model. You still do all of those things, but now you are not at the mercy of when those shows and fairs appear. Now you have the ability to help others as and when you want to do so, as and when they would like you to be able to help them. So let's go back. Let's show you how we did it. Basically what we did was we went to Pixabay and we chose a photograph, we downloaded it, and then we took that photograph and took it into pixlr.com/editor. We used edit and free transform to move the picture over so that it's not bang in the middle of the photograph, it's actually slightly to the right or to the left, creating a look of the lower third. We use adjustments excuse me, we used adjustments to heighten the contrast by 20, lift the brightness by 10, raise the saturation by 20, and then if you remember, what we could do is we could change the color tint if we wanted to do that. Once we did that, we created a story talking to one person who ultimately might need your help. You at that point will tell them the reason why they're feeling the way that they're feeling, and then you'd make them an offer where you'd ask them to message you, and you would raise the offer. It's £1 a minute, and at that point you would just ask them to use a keyword, which means that you know it's that particular post that they saw. And then what you would do is, if you wanted to go further, obviously any conversations that take place in Facebook Messenger at that time, at the right time, you're going to book your session with your client. If you want to stretch it a little bit more, I've showed you how to use audience insights to be able to make sure that you're targeting the right people, and you can reach 3,000 people for £5, which ultimately you're targeting 2 women between the ages of 35 and 54 who are married, who are university postgraduates, who use mobile phones to scroll the Facebook news feed, and you're away. And then all you've got to do, use the PayPal Me link so that your customer, your client can book you and pay for your session, and that money hits your bank account almost straight away. And then don't forget, reinvest 20% of your marketing, of your money back into your marketing, so that you are able to help more people and not have to rely on mind, body, spirit shows, fairground models. All of those things are so important. It's about meeting up with other practitioners. But if you want to help more people, all you've got to do is follow those few very, very simple steps. My name is Michael Griffin of Stellar Media. Stellar Media helps mind, body, spirit stroke wellness practitioners raise their voice, share their message, and ultimately gives them the ability to concentrate on helping the people that they want to help. We look after the marketing for them so that those practitioners don't have to do that for themselves. All right, but if you want to do it yourself, all you've got to do is follow the steps that you've just seen in this video. And as I say, it's been an absolute pleasure, and speak to you soon.